guys, it's me again, Ruowen Huang. One of those days, I'm just gonna, actually this whole week I've been quite productive. I gotta give myself a pat on the shoulder. Anyway, before I begin, let me first introduce myself. My name is Ruowen Huang. I'm an author, spirit coach, and also a psychic. Today, I want to talk about the difference between inaction and surrender. And then, for you who speak English, you were saying, what the heck? Yeah, I probably feel the same too, but it's okay. I mean, probably as you listening to my broadcast over and over, due to my very limited language vocabulary, I may not be able to fully explain myself well. So therefore, or maybe some confusion between language. So I often get asked some really weird question. Still, I will try my best to answer it. Just try to make people less confused, which sometimes may lead you to more confused. I don't know. But in this particular episode, as you can see, I'm totally talking to myself more. In this particular episode, I'm just going to answer someone's question. They simply want to know what's the difference between inaction and surrender. Well, for me, it's very different. I don't know about you. Inaction is basically you don't do anything, right? Surrender, usually very often people use as giving up. Like, I give up. I just don't do anything. I give up, right? But with me particularly, I look at surrender in very different way. I don't see surrender as giving up. I see surrender as I'm convinced. Does that make sense? I'm convinced by whoever's theory. So I say it really depends on how you look at the word, how you explain the word. Therefore, you may view it very differently. So for me, inaction, I'm not in any way support inaction, because really you don't action, you don't learn. I'd rather you make a mistake. At least you learn, right? But if you never do anything, there's no chance you're able to evolve yourself or bring yourself to the next level. So I would say this word hardly exists in my vocabulary unless I'm totally not interested in that thing. I'm like, that's just not something I ever think about, I ever want to do or something. Therefore, I would not do it. But if you fall into my broadcast, my belief, what I've been sharing with you all, you all know I'm in believing there's a greater goal for you to achieve. There's an evolution path for you guys to follow. There's always something for you guys to go for. So I personally here to answer you, I'm not a believer in inaction if you have a dream. Let's put it this way. I'm not a believer of not doing anything. Do something. I'm a believer of do something, even you know you will do it wrong. At least you do it. And then hey, that's a dumb idea. Try something better next time, right? Even that you're learning something. So talking about surrender, I think the reason I get asked this question is because I have a big issue with surrendering myself. Surrendering myself in the early stage of my life is, I view it as a way of how do you call it? A sign of weakness to me. Does that make sense to you? So that's why I live my whole life. I would never allow myself to show my weakness. I will always toughen myself up or suck it up or try to act tougher than I was. So that's why it took really long time or extra longer time for me to understand what surrender really means. So for me, surrender, again, I didn't really view it as giving up by not doing anything. I view it as I try everything. I can. And then I come to this point, I make sure I try everything possible way I can, and then there's no other way to it. And then giving up or not doing it is simply my last choice of it. You know what I mean? So the difference of that is, I would say, one is without even bother to try. One is you try everything else. But as I get older, I view surrender a little bit more differently. Is I can be convinced, I might believe something so strongly, but I also can be convinced by someone. That means I'm willing to let go of my belief and adapt other people's behavior, adapt other people's belief, adapt other people's eating habit, diet, or whatever it is, right? But that usually with me particularly, I think I need a lot of convincing, not just convincing. I'm not a person who just believes in word. I believe in action. So when someone's actions are able to prove their theory may be better than mine, or their way of doing might actually be better than mine, this is when I'm usually willing to surrender myself and then adapt other people's. You know what I mean? So anyway, one of those topics probably make you even more confused. But just simply response to those specific questions regarding to this 2 words. I don't know why you asked me. Probably I use it in some episode over and over and then make you think I mean the same thing. What I really try to say is no, I probably mean different thing. I would never believe saying in action, don't do it, because I don't believe in that. So, inaction for me is you don't do anything. You simply don't do anything. Without even trying, you already talk yourself out of it before any action even happens. Surrender is for me, particularly, is for someone who try every possible way they can. And when they try every possible way they can and they come to a point, realize giving up, which you might perceive is bad or whatever, but in life, we do have to come to this point sometime, from time to time. Like one already try every possible way they can, and they come to a point giving up is their only choice to do. Then therefore they surrender themselves. Or if they find better choice of whatever beliefs, theory, diet, action, and then they're willing to let go of their own belief and adapt the new one, I also call that surrender. So anyway, I hope that clarifies it. It's funny for a ESL, by the way, ESL. It's funny for an ESL to explain English, but hopefully that's clear enough for you guys from my perspective. Again, if you like what I'm doing, you can always join me live on Facebook or go to subscribe my YouTube channel or my website ruowen.com. Till then, see you guys next time. Bye.